Good afternoon. I'm here today with my friend Cheryl, and this is Melony Buenger, your host. I'm so excited to have this new spotlight called Shine Your Light, and to really we're really talking about Be Radiant, the event that's coming up. And so if you're in the group, you know that we've got the Be Radiant event that's coming up again live on April 9th and 10th. And I'm excited because I'm bringing in some new speakers as we really look at like what God has created us to be, how we can transform our life, how we can be set free and then be radiant for God in a time like this, in a world that's been dark, a time that's been filled with many, many challenges. And a lot of people are having to shift. And so if you are a leader, if you are a Christian entrepreneur, or you're an influencer and you want to just to do more to give God the glory, to build up his kingdom, you are going to want to be a part of Be Radiant. Or if you want to be filled up, you just need a little bit more filling up and being around some amazing women, I want to invite you. So hello, Charlene. It's great to have you. Why don't you tell us where you're at in the world and what you're up to?
Hi, Melanie. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be a part of this. I actually live in Denver, Colorado. So for those of you who saw the news recently, we just had our major snowstorm. We got 28 inches, which made it the third biggest storm in Denver history. But I'll tell you what, for an East Coast girl, which is where I'm from the East Coast, to move out here to like the snow capital, it felt wonderful to know that the snow was gone in like less than 3 days, because we're so close to the sunlight that it melts everything. And so I have green grass now because we have this beautiful moisture. So that's where I'm at. I'm in Denver. And I'm just excited to be with you today.
Well, and I'm in Portland, Oregon, so it's actually a little rainy here today, but we had some sunshine yesterday, which was great. And I think that this is the amazing time, is that we can really come together and unify, and people who are doing a lot of amazing things, and just connect. And so that's what I've loved so much about this time, is that I've got to meet amazing people. And so you've wrote a book. Tell us a little bit about the book that you have wrote.
So the book is called Roar Back, Transforming Struggle into Strength. And this is my copy. It's got tags all over it and it's the story about my layoff. And when I was laid off from corporate America, it's been 7 years now. So I'm at a full cycle with the Lord on this. We lost 60% of my family's income. And let's just let that sit for a minute, because that's heavy. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of that, hearing that phone call and then thinking, oh no, now what? How will we get through this? How will we pay our bills? Really, how will we overcome? How, and the finance part of it is real, right? We see that and we're like, oh my goodness, because the math either adds up or it doesn't. Yet God tells us in his word that he's our provider. Mm-hmm. And when we begin to know him and trust him just because he said it, and he begins to show up and show off in your life, then you begin to see things a little bit differently. And so it was that circumstance that I talk about in this book, and all the lessons that God taught me through the layoff about trusting him and who he says he is, and then retraining my brain really around who I am. We talked before, even, on, a one-on-one conversation you and I had about the difference between being a human being and a human doing. And I had to realize that what God was calling me to be was his daughter. And mm-hmm. What does that then look like? And so I had to retrain myself, because everything I did was wrapped up in my career, what I was, my title, my bank account, my neighborhood, my all of that. And he's like, nope, it needs to be me.
Well, and I think a lot of people could probably relate to that this year, because there's been a huge shift in our world, and a lot of titles have changed. Jobs that I think, there have been people who've lost jobs, many businesses that have closed, and really, loved ones that have been lost, and really saying, God, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to do this? And so that is what I am, I'm excited, is because, at the event, there's going to be so many different people, and it's really going to be a time to connect together, to really talk about what is our God-sized goals, what is it that God is calling us to do, what has he created us to do. And some people are going to have to lay titles down, right? Like I can relate to that. Like when I went through that 2-year grief period and I came out of that, there were some titles I was still trying to hold on to because I was still trying to be the person I was before. Right. And I had to really step into who God had called me to be and who had created me to be, and to own those gifts and to really fully rely upon him. And I think that is really what Be Radiant is going to do. It's going to equip people who come. It's going to equip us to have the ability to step into the place that God has called us, to align us with other amazing people that will help us move forward into those areas, whether that's just our next step or our next conversation, right? And it really helping us be open to where God is calling us.
Mm-hmm. And being willing to say yes. Because we know that in the Old Testament, when the Lord asked Abraham to leave, he left all he knew. He left his family, he left his country, he left every comfort to go into, I don't know where I'm going. And how many times I know that was true for me when every single door that I was approaching from I dug into my network, I was looking for a job, and every single door is shut. And then God is calling me to do something I'd never done before. Try to explain that to your husband. Yeah, so we're going to do something else. And I don't know what it is. That doesn't pay the bills. And so to be able to step out in faith and be able to say, God, I don't know what this looks like. I have to trust that I know you and that I know your voice, and that you're going to lead me the same way you led Moses, the same way you led Abraham, the same way you led Joshua. You're going to lead me. I'm going to trust your voice, that you're going to provide the next step, and you're going to give me the blueprint on how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that really is the case. So I'm so excited that you're going to be a part of this. I am, if you're hearing this and this is sparking something in you, you're thinking about it, know that you are going to come and be filled. We are going to be giving you some of God's word. We're going to be giving you lots of great, amazing business resources and tools to help you to step into those places so that you are equipped where he is calling you, to help you build your confidence, to let you know just different verses that you can speak into your life. This is one thing I always like to ask people, and so I'm going to ask you this. What is a verse that really speaks to you or really has been an encouragement to you?
So I would say my favorite verse of all time, even as a kid, highlighted in my Precious Moments Bible, right, from a long time ago. We
got one of those.
My pages are coming out, so that little one, I passed it down. But it was Romans 8:28, and it says that God will use all things for his good, for those that are called to his plan, according to his plans and his purpose. Well, that's you. That's me. That's everybody within the sound of our voice that are watching us on all of these different streams today. God has a purpose and a plan that, guess what, only you can do. It's not anybody else. I can't take up your baton and run your race. This is yours. And so if you're called according to his plan and his purpose, which you are, then, and you have something for him to do, and then something happens along the way, job layoff, death of a family member, God is in his wonderful goodness is going to say, I will use that. I will use that. I will use that to strengthen you. I will use that to mold you. And that's the truth of my life story, really, is I can look back at every difficult thing I've walked through, some painful stuff. God did not cause that, but he definitely used it to sharpen me. He used it to see how much he let me see how much he loves me, to show me that he's my provider, even in the midst of all of that. So Romans 8:28 is by far my go-to. But that's not where everybody starts. Some people need to start with Psalm 107:36 that says God calms the storm.
Yeah.
It says he stills the storm, he calms the waves, and he makes the hurricane hush. Can we get that'll preach right there. When we're in the middle of our mess and we're in the middle of the storm, we need God to tell it to be still. And Psalm 107:36 is where to start, because sometimes that's all we've got.
Yeah. And sometimes we need to be still, right? This is the other thing, is like God needs to calm that storm, but then also we need to be still in the midst of that so we can hear him to where he is calling us.
Yes.
So we can hear him where he is going to use us, or hear him how he's trying to help us, right? So those are both beautiful, really, really powerful verses. I love that. I love to share verses in here because God's word speaks so much life and so much truth. And it is the hope, right? It is what we need to move forward. So I thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I'm so excited. Well, you guys, if you haven't got your ticket yet, you can go to beradiant.live and get your ticket. There is going to be lots of goodies. I've asked all of my guests to bring in some different gifts. We are going to be bringing just a treasure chest full of goodies for you and gifts to equip you and build you up. So everybody that attends will get a gift, and then we have some special different ones. But I want you to plan on coming and being blessed. Know that you want to set the time aside, because if God has been calling you, if he's been nudging you and thinking, what is my next, or what do I need to do, or how will I do it? This seems so big. Just come and be equipped. Come and get around other giants, other amazing women and warriors who are doing things to build up God's kingdom, and know that people will come alongside you. You will get, a lot of it is walking by faith. And so I have done some, a lot of people ask me like, well, how are you doing that? Or how have you done that? Because I had a big transition in my life too. And I would say it is walking by faith, by just listening to that voice of God and doing it. And God's way and man's way does not always make sense, you guys. And so I just want this to be an encouragement that if you're thinking about doing something, you're thinking, I don't know how, stop asking the how and just say yes. So we want to equip you. We want to fill you up. We want to love on you. This is going to be 2 days packed full of goodness and lots of resources for you. So anything else you would like to share with us today?
I want to add one thing, because when we talk about our faith, the one picture that Paul gives us in Ephesians is that it's a shield of faith. Yes. And so I want you to picture it. It's a shield, and the Roman soldiers, it was big enough to hide behind. But here's the thing that most people don't know about the shield. Is when the army would carry it, they would carry it in a line. And then they would put it beside, they'd link arms with the person beside their shield. And then it would be an entire tank. And they'd be moving through the battlefield, shield beside shield beside shield. And the people in the back line would put their shield on top. And so you would be protected because you're going at kingdom business with your army at your side. We are not intended to walk this life by ourselves. So your shield of faith is meant to link with my shield, with Melony's shield, and with all the other people who she's bringing to this event, to link our shields together so that we can all move forward and do the work of the kingdom.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. We just wanted to hop on, share this. If this spoke to you, made you think of somebody, share this with your friend, invite them, come and grow together, be blessed together. And we want to just have you there. You guys, again, it's April 9th and 10th, and you can just go to beradiant.live, and we will be there to fill you up and to pray with you, to encourage you, and to help you say yes to where God is calling you. Thank you.